Assalamualaikum and very good morning, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. As you all are aware, our company is currently facing issues related to moonlighting, and this has become a significant concern involving both management and employees. As the president of the company, I feel compelled to discuss this matter to rectify the situation and reach a resolution. Today, we will be holding a meeting regarding this matter to ensure that the issue is not prolonged and to reach an agreement between both parties, namely management and employees. Before we begin our meeting, I would like to introduce our meeting members. First of all, Ms. Nurul Iza, a research representative from Personal Department. Next, Ms. Siti Zulaika, a representative from the Administration Department, and Ms. Ainun Atira, a representative from Mulaita. Let's get started our meeting by hearing the perspective from both sides, management and employees. I would like to call upon Ms. Nur Iza, a representative from the Personnel Department, to begin our meeting.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. President. So our analysis has shown a correlation between moonlighting and a decrease in efficiency. Accidents are more frequent on Mondays, which we believe is related to moonlighters being fatigued from their weekend second jobs. The added stress and fatigue from working two jobs have resulted in increased absenteeism and a decline in overall job satisfaction. This is concerning not only for individual employees but also for the cohesion and morale of our entire workforce. Additionally, there have been instances of employee calling in sick to work at their part-time jobs, which is affecting our overall productivity. In addition to the potential negative effects on health and job satisfaction, moonlighting poses a challenge to team collaboration. The need for employees to juggle multiple commitments may hinder their ability to fully engage in team projects and collaborative efforts. This, in turn, could impact our ability to meet project deadlines and achieve optimal results. As a forward-thinking company, we must also consider the impact of moonlighting on our long-term employee retention. The strain caused by balancing two jobs may lead to burnouts, which could prompt talented individuals to seek employment elsewhere. Retaining skilled and experienced employees is crucial for the sustained growth and success of our organization. Taking all these factors into account, we strongly recommend implementing a policy to prohibit moonlighting. By doing so, we aim to create a workplace that prioritizes the well-being and productivity of our employees. This proactive measure not only addresses the immediate concerns related to efficiency and safety, but also fosters a work environment that encourages employee satisfaction, teamwork, and long-term commitment to our company's success. That's all from me.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. I see the issue from your statement. What do you think of this issue, Ms. Siti Zulaika?
Thank you, Ms. President. In my perspective, the influence of moonlighters on the overall performance of the company is definitely important, particularly when they find themselves required to take extended leave due to illness. Long-term absence have consequences that go beyond only interrupting with the usual workflow. They also greatly increase the probability of mistake and oversight in the work processes. The problems are the compound by the underlying problem of lack of rest, which leave worker potentially exhausted and with reduced cognitive ability when they return to work. However, the largest economic environment, which is defined by high inflation, place the cycle of absence and poor performance in perspective. It is understood that moonlighters must look for additional work in order to cope with difficult financial situations, demonstrating a practical awareness of the demands on the economy, combined with the growing cost of living, inflation's effect on people's purchasing power sometimes force people to take on different jobs in order to make a respectable living. companies must strike a careful balance between meeting the requirement of moonlighters and preserving operational efficiency as a result of satisfying these financial requirements. Finding this balance means creating a culture that values workers' well-being while recognize the financial difficult, introduce health project, flexible work schedule, or support service may lessen the burden on moonlighters and promote a more permanent balance between work and personal life.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. Now that we have heard from management, let's now hear from Ms. Anwantira as a representative from Moonlighter.
Thank you, Mrs. President. As one of the moonlighters, we acknowledge the issues related to taking time off and may not demonstrate remarkable performance. We are forced to take on this side occupation to support our families and our daily needs. Having a second job is the only option for us to make ends meet daily. In my perspective, firing everyone who moonlights is both unfair and harsh. Shouldn't the firm prioritize our well-being as well? If the corporation continues to consider terminating moonlighters in this company, it will lose many experienced employees who have worked for the company for many years. We will strike if the decision to dismiss moonlighters persists. We believe that we have the right to work whenever and wherever we want. The management should consider a more equitable solution and provide flexible decision to the employees instead of firing us. In my view, the company has no right to control us outside of working hours.
Thank you for sharing your perspective. Now that I have heard from both sides, does Ms. Ainul Atira as Moonlighters have a proposed solution to address this issue?
Of course, there are, Mrs. President. I have discussed with other moonlighters, and there are a few suggestions we'd like to put forward if the company prohibits us from having side jobs. One of them involves adjusting salary of benefits for us. We propose a review of the salary or benefit structure to ensure that employees receive adequate income. This means adjusting a salary increase to match the current inflation rates because the minimum wage provided by the company feels insufficient given the current economic conditions. Considering the company's more than 20 years of operation, it seems reasonable to overhaul the minimum wages based on position within the company. Additionally, we also request the company to open slots for overtime working, with employees being paid on an hourly basis. Or maybe management should explore additional non-monetary help for moonlighters, such as flexible benefits, healthcare coverage, or assistance programs, which could reduce some of our financial difficulties.
Excuse me, I would like to explain about the salary. We cannot do anything related to the salary because the performance of the employees themselves is not performing. The big cause of the company's loss is that many companies do not want to cooperate because of the problem of our company's work. So many of our projects were rejected and many losses occurred. So our salary cannot change anything. My opinion as the management, we need to improve the basic first, which is the way our employees work. So my suggestion is to create an incentive system, which is introduce an incentive or reward system for employees who show excellent performance and full-time commitment without moonlighting.
Okay, Ms. Zulaika, I agree with the incentive system, but I am certain that the incentive system might still not be able to offset our financial burdens compared to the earnings from our side jobs. I know that incentives can be motivating and appreciated, but the financial difference between our primary jobs pay and the revenue gained by moonlighting remains substantial. Even with incentive, it may not be enough to bridge the income gap or fully compensate for the extra labor moonlighters to do maintain their families and cover our daily expenditures.
This issue is quite complicated. Ms. Iza, do you have any suggestion for resolving this matter?
The incentive system is actually quite good. However, if Muliters persist in stating that the incentive system is insufficient, so I have a suggestion, which is periodic performance evaluations. It entails proposing the implementation of regular performance assessment with a particular emphasis on employees who are moonlighting. Project evaluations involve the systematic assessment of an employee's performance at regular intervals. This process includes setting clear performance expectations, reviewing achievements, and identifying areas for improvement. For Moonlighters, the evaluation would take into account their ability to manage their roles effectively. And criteria for evaluation may include like productivity, quality of work, meeting deadlines, and effective time management. So moonlighters would be assessed based on their ability to balance responsibilities between their primary job and their part-time commitments. Following the evaluation, constructive feedback should be provided to moonlighting employees. In case where performance falls below expectations, personalized improvement plans can be established outlining specific areas for development and offering support to enhance performance.
I agree with that suggestion because the proposal suggests complementing the exciting incentive system with periodic performance evaluations, specifically focused on moonlighting employees. Periodic evaluations will involve setting clear expectations, reviewing achievement, and identifying areas for with criteria such as productive and time management. The emphasis of on assessing moonlighter ability to balance dual role. Following evaluations, constructive feedback and personalized improvement plans would be provided to address any performance gaps. This combined approach aims to recognize excellence, foster continuous improvement, and contribute to the overall success of the company.
Pardon me for interrupting. Can I suggest another suggestion from our perspective?
Of course, you may proceed. Please go ahead, Miss Ayu.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. President. I suggest the company provide a flexible schedule for employees where they are free to choose their working hours. I believe this could somewhat help moonlighters work more productively according to their chosen schedule. This means the company should establish a schedule where employees can choose the days and times to work from home and set a minimum amount of time per week for us to work in the office. By granting the freedom to choose their working hours, employees can align their schedules with their personal commitments, which can lead to the higher job satisfaction and reduce stress levels. For moonlighters, this flexibility could be particularly impactful as they often manage multiple responsibilities outside of their primary job. The option to work from home on certain days and defining a minimum required office presence per week offers a blend of autonomy and structure. It acknowledged the changing dynamic of working environments, especially with the increasing prevalence of remote work. This setup can boost employee morale as they have the flexibility to create a work environment that suits their productivity best, whether it is in the office or at their home. Of course, this system would need proper guideline and monitoring to ensure that it doesn't hinder collaboration or disrupt essential operation. But when this managed effectively, this flexibility in scheduling can lead to a more engaged, motivated, and productive workforce, benefiting both the employees and the company as a whole.
In other words, you recommend implementing a flexible schedule for employees, allowing them to choose their work hours. This would be beneficial, especially for moonlighters, as it enables them to align work with personal commitment, leading to higher satisfaction and reduced stress. So the flexibility can result in a more engaged, motivated, and productive workforce benefiting both employees and the company. What do you think of this suggestion, Mr. Reza?
So far, I agree with that suggestion. Schedule flexibility is closely linked to increased job satisfaction. When employees have the autonomy to tailor their work hours to better suit their personal lives, they are more likely to experience greater satisfaction in their roles. This, in turn, contributes to a positive and motivated workforce.
Now we have several approved proposal in place. So here is same the management agrees not to terminate the moonlighter and allow them to continue their part-time work based on the discussion. Is that correct, Ms. Siti Zulaika?
That's right, Mrs. President. Because based on the financial performance of the company is very weak. After all, there are many moonlighters in our company. If we fire them, we are short of worker and to train the new worker take a long time. So we need to prioritize improving our company's performance. The recommendation made are more than enough to enable us to handle the issue that develop.
I see what you want to convey. What is your view, Ms. Nurul Izzah?
Okay, based on our discussion, we cannot terminate these moonlighters and instruct them to cease their part-time work. However, proposing a system of periodic performance evaluations and introducing schedule flexibility would present a win-win situation for both parties. And implementing regular performance assessment allow us to objectively evaluate the employee's contribution and capabilities. This approach enables us to recognize and reward our outstanding performance while addressing any areas that may require improvement. By adopting this system, we promote a fair and transparent evaluation process that aligns with our commitment to maintaining a supportive and equitable workplace. However, introducing schedule flexibility acknowledges the employee's need for work-life balance. This adjustment accommodates their commitments outside the workplace and provides an opportunity for them to manage the dual roles more effectively. By, by fostering a flexible schedule, we create an environment that values the well-being of our team members, ultimately contributing to higher job satisfaction and commitment. So, in this win-win scenario, employees benefit from a more balanced and accommodating work environment, enhancing their overall job experience. Simultaneously, the company benefits from improved employee morale, increased productivity, and the potential for better retention of skilled personnel. By opting for performance evaluations and schedule flexibility, we not only address the challenges associated with moonlighting, but also demonstrate our commitment to the holistic development and satisfaction of our workforce. This approach aligns with our values and fairness, support and continuous improvement within the organizational framework. That's my opinion.
It's appear that the management agrees to allow moonlighters to continue working. What is your opinion, Ms. Ainunatira?
As a Moonlighters representative, I am very, very grateful to the management for being cooperative in discussing our issues and agreeing to retain us to continue working here instead of continuing to dismiss Moonlighters. I fully support the proposal for performance assessment of the employees, especially among Moonlighters, because I understand that several factors need attention to ensure the company's stability from various aspects.
Now, proposed suggestion which involves conducting performance assessment for the benefit of the company and introducing flexibility in the work schedule to enhance employees' performance has been agreed upon by both parties. Now, I would like the management to provide recommendation on how to implement good schedule flexibility. Ms. Siti Zulaika, please proceed.
All right, Mrs. President. My suggestion for the time of work, I suggest is 3 days of physical presence in the office and 2 days is work from home. This hybrid approach allows employees to benefit from both in-person collaborations and the flexibility of working from home. For the working hour, I suggest modifying the standard working hour to 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. instead of 8 a.m. Until 6 p.m. This adjustment acknowledges the changing dynamic of the modern workforce and promote a healthier work-life balance. And the last one, I think no call outside working hours. Instituting a policy that restrict work-related calls outside of the designated working hour. This ensures that employees have dedicated time for personal and family commitment, contributing to the overall well-being.
It seems that this change is quite significant. What is your opinion regarding this proposal, Ms. Anuratira?
In my view, this proposal is very beneficial for all employees. Workers will perform better because their off time won't be disrupted and their working hours will be more flexible. I believe this is the best suggestion to reduce moonlighters frequently taking off due to insufficient rest and can enhance their productivity of moonlighters in their work. This suggestion revolves around creating a more flexible working schedule that respects employees' time, thereby reducing the need for moonlighters to take frequent breaks or time off. By allowing flexibility in working hours and providing adequate rest period, employees can maintain a better work-life balance, leading to increased productivity and engagement. The idea is to create a system where employees can manage their working hours to suit their personal needs, thereby minimizing the strain on them from juggling multiple jobs. This approach not only benefits moonlighters but can also positively impact the overall workforce, improving job satisfaction and overall performance.
All right. Does Ms. Nurul Iza have anything else to add?
No, Mrs. President.
Okay. Is there anything else Ms. Siti Zulaika would like to contribute?
I think no, Mrs. President.
What about you, Ms. Anuratira?
No, Mrs. President.
Okay. So here we have reached a mutual agreement and conflict have been resolved. We have had a fruitful discussion on the topic. Let me now summarize what has been discussed. So, what we have discussed is that both parties have expressed their view based on the issue present. Both parties have also provided suggestion. Ms. Ainur Atira proposal for a salary increase was not approved due to the company unfavorable financial situation and performance. Ms. Siti Zulaika's suggestion to implement an incentive system was also not approved as the incentives were considered too minimal compared to the discussion moonlighting proposal by Ms. Ainur Atira. Ms. Nurul Izzah proposal for performance assessment by personnel was approved by both parties for the benefit of the company performance. Ms. Ainur Atira's suggestion for a flexible schedule was also approved by both parties to enhance employees' performance. In conclusion, the management agreed to retain all moonlighting employees in line with the proposal to improve employee performance. We will have an official meeting regarding the two approved proposal in the upcoming meeting. That's conclude our meeting today. Thank you for all for your cooperation. You may now be dismissed.
Thank you, Mrs.
Thank
President.
you,
Thank you,
Mrs.
Mrs. President.
President.